see the same thing. You know, will FaZe look like a better D.Va player here? Will Astro have a better shot on the Zen?
So here we go. StormQuake already picking up some fans from the guys watching Contenders Trials, where I believe it was only one series that they had lost. I think at the hands of the Foxes. So it was an unexpected loss, but it was during a resurgence by the Foxes. They got themselves into a position where they needed a couple of stars to align to requalify, and unfortunately for them, that did not happen. Needed to rely on Wildcat, the bottom team in Contenders Trials Korea, to pick up a victory against Blossom or WGS, I think. So unfortunately, Foxes couldn't make it, but StormQuake, they're going to be trying to forget about that loss. They're going to try to come out here and take down Element Mystic.
Well, we already off the bat see Sparkle bringing back out the Pharah here, whereas StormQuake is going to be running this Winston variation of the 3-3. So no hit scan to knock Sparkle out of the sky, at least not for this initial push.
But Sparkle on his return will find first blood. They lose Takoyaki shortly thereafter. Suzen comes up with that kill. So layering in these rockets. Will get booped back by the enemy Brig. Poking his way through, rockets in on the flank. Lots being denied away, though.
They have the point controlled, and they're going to get the flip. So this works very well for StormQuake.
Good start with that cap, but Proper now taking down. So much damage being put into FaZe. They'll get knocked out of that mech by Sparkle and taken down immediately. Fantastic performance on the Pharah so far. Barrage getting ready to be online, and Element Mystic in the meantime are getting that flip.
You would think
will get taken down off screen by Z-Bag, but 17% is all that StormQuake are able to gather.
You would think Sullivan may consider swapping to the McCree. He's actually going to go all the way to Widow. He's a very good hit scan player, despite the fact that StormQuake doesn't usually run compositions like that, but in this case, it becomes appropriate to look for the Pharah that way. He had Rally in 2%, might have wanted to use it before swapping, but, you know, it's control. Every second matters.
Yep. Taking a lot of damage. Jumps back of the EMP. The barrage there from Sparkle. Locks down two, and it's the supports. Proper is able to follow up with a kill onto the Pharah, but the damage has been done. It seems like that is going to be StormQuake having to regroup. Go back. FaZe actually dumps in the self-destruct, and Takoyaki, a bit of an interesting moment, pushes forward into that explosion, was desperately trying to get the kill onto the baby D.Va rather than keep his own life. So, interesting decision there. FaZe follows up with a kill onto Hanbin, and now StormQuake have to make their way over onto the point.
Looks like they are going to just knock Unique away here, and should be able to get a recap. We do see Sparkle trying to grab some Dragon Blade charge here. That's all he's going to get before he does go down. Obviously, he does tag back in onto the point, so will Takoyaki. So they're going to bring this up to 60.
Yeah, last row going to fall, but Takoyaki does get taken down after that. So 60% just about here. As Proper almost gets taken down by a pistol from Unique's Mercy.
Looks like it's going to be potentially swamps here. Takoyaki does switch over to the Winston. Thought maybe he'd go to Ryan. The Sparkle going back to the Brigida. But they're going to look for EMP as their initiation. StormQuake has a lot of survivability, and they have Amy, you know, one of the Korea's best Lucios too, as long as he can position himself correctly. Sound barrier to counteract that once it is ready.
Rage out from Z-Bag, looking to knock them off the high ground here. Starts coming around from behind, manages to lock down Unique and eliminates him. Face popped out of the back in the meantime. The pulse bomb comes in from Proper, gets rid of Sparkle. Last row will fall. Flip starting to come through for Element Mystic, but now Takoyaki going to get taken down. Proper coming up with a double kill. Now looking for a little bit more as Hanbin is under threat. Gets the kill there on the Fix Me, and Hanbin has to go off the side. So StormQuake now with the lead.
Yeah, with the kill onto Sparkle super early, notice he has almost no charge for Rally. And because he died very quick as well, Sullivan was able to, or excuse me, Proper was able to do tons of damage on the Tracer, get that Pulse Bomb kill, and just basically have free reign and consistent damage. Element Mystic still has that EMP for an opening, but they don't have follow-up damage after that, even if it does go off. Remember, Amy still holds the barrier.
Looking for the hack. Fix Me going to be the first one picked off. Proper into the back line, maybe even one clipping him. Hard to say either way. He loses Zenyatta, managed to find the enemy Winston. Push forward here onto the point. Proper throwing out that pulse bomb, not going to find the stick. It goes a little bit too deep and not going to come up with a kill. Exchange on the Briggs. Element Mystic still fighting tooth and nail to try to get control of this point. Bubble going to expire. Takoyaki goes in, pops that Primal Rage. Been knocked out of the mech, has to use the self-destruct to try to get back through, but gets taken down by Proper, who is now nanoed up here on this Tracer, nearly to another pulse bomb. The corner sound barrier coming down. Amy keeping everybody else topped up as the rest of StormQuake joins through. Z-Bag going low. They get Takoyaki. Pulse bombs finds the stick. Shield was up. Sparkle stays alive. Rally going to be popped, but they have to get onto the point. They have to keep this one contested if they want to take this first round, but it just does not seem likely. Zip back from Hanbin can't get there fast enough. 100 to 59. StormQuake will take it.
Fairly weak, I have to say, the performance of Sparkle on the Brigida. We had questions as early as the end of Season 2, and when we had our show match even on Busan, when the map was released, and you and I covered that here in Korea, about what heroes he'd play in this meta. Would he be able to transition away from the Genji, away from the dive heroes? And it was not a success. In 4 lives and 4 deaths, he wasn't able to build the rally, he wasn't able to make that impact for his team, and he was unable to shut down Proper's Tracer, which had free reign over Element Mystic. So we talk about counters to goats. They weren't running goats. They were finding themselves being, I mean, literally, StormQuake was running circles around Element Mystic there. It's not a good start, but they are at least going to start with a straight-up goats comp now. Mystic already going back to that, where Sparkle has shown good Zarya in the past, and this is more common what Element Mystic is running now. Not the desperation swap to the Brigida, but the start on the Zarya.
We're up so far. Push their way through. Sparkle trying to maximize his charge here. They don't find the first kill yet again in the round. As the Z-Bag does get taken down, knocked off the side of the map. Should be Proper going down. Sugen as well. Will be eliminated. Element Mystic, clean sweep on the start. Do manage to get this first cap again. But how long can they hold it?
Well, I think they'll be able to hold it for quite some time because they control this choke now. Sparkle still just tossing in right clicks to build up that grab. Doha ends up with way more charge because they ended up winning that fight, and it was a more traditional composition to that rally. They have a nice amount of advantage, and Z-Bag is just now switching over to Ryan.
Very high energy here for Sparkle, playing forward. Now has the grab online, but Doha and Takoyaki both going to get taken down. Hanbin under fire. Will be able to stay in the mech. The grab will come through, but do they have the damage to get the kills? So far, the answer is going to be yes. Sugen and Proper will both fall. Transcendence out from Vixby's, keeping everybody else topped up. StormQuake are not hindered yet. They are still working their way forward onto the point. Z-Bag leading the charge, taking a battering here on this Reinhardt. Sparkle comes up with a kill. Bomb into the back, looking for a pick, and it will find Amy. Unique traded out as Lastro finds one, but Element Mystic will maintain control.
Sparkle here just showcasing his skill on Zarya, you know, or on the Zarya, you know, on a more common hero for him to play, a more comfortable hero. And he builds 99 energy.
Bomb into the back. They have a barrier. Looks like the shield's going to be coming through from Takoyaki. Maybe that costs him his life, stepping that far forward. Sound barrier out. Fire strike finds Doha. Into the well goes Sparkle, just sacrificing himself. Knows that the fight is over. Has another Graviton Surge ready to go. Element Mystic, maybe they will be able to find a very fast flip, nearly a Transcendence online as well.
Yeah, this is all going to be about Lastro. He still holds a little bit of armor from that last rally, but the Transcendence will have to counter, you know, hopefully both, and for his sake, the Shatter and the Grav, depending on how those end up getting used, but at least one of them. If he can counter one of them, they have an opportunity to win this fight. Otherwise, the fast flip will definitely come through. Here's the Grav.
Yeah, Proper locking him down. Sugen's still going to be the first one to fall. Transcendence not even used by Vixby, just holds on to it.
Yep, Lastro, well-timed, does protect everybody here, but it's just not long enough for them to survive against the follow-up. The knockoff here from Unique gets that kill, and it's going to be a flip. Very little percentage gain for StormQuake.
Yeah, 32 is all they were able to snag. The last person who was contesting will go down. 73% now for Element Mystic, holding 5 ultimates, and Sparkle is halfway to that next Graviton Surge. Vixby finds a pick off. They just want to go ahead and gate them back into the drop ship to end it right here. Shatter coming down, catches 3. They steamroll all over them as Sparkle picks up 3 kills. Back to back to back. Leave the Baby Diva to his own devices. Element Mystic now at 92%, and they keep this up.
They just need to make sure no one can tag onto the point. That's the name of the game here. Don't know if Ace is actually going to get through here.
And 100%. Okay, it's going to be Amy in the back.
Yeah,
Amy
does.
Tag it up. OT going to be taken away. He rejoins the rest of his squad. Sparkle grab going to be eaten, as you say. Taken away, nicely done by FaZe. Hanbin in the back. Poking forward here, looking to build up for that self-destruct. Over halfway, left to go. Shatter coming down. Takoyaki going to be eliminated. Very helps keep him alive, and Unique finds two. Seabag and Amy both going to be going down. Now Sparkle finding his Zarya counterpart, getting rid of Proper. The one will be traded out, but Unique comes up with a third kill. Suljan will be taken down. Lastro joins him, and FaZe cannot keep it contested. Even if he had gotten on the point, he was so low, would have been popped out, and now we have a third round of Achilios. Ruins will decide who takes the lead in the series.
I do agree with the Meta Athena coach. They have the counter to Goats. It's playing Goats better than your opponent.
There you have it.
They've got the answer. That was just absolutely a crushing victory. Controlling that zone, Sparkle coming up forward, allowing that shatter to happen that forced them back into spawn one more time. It was really well executed. Unique getting that double kill there in the end secures everything. We've had a lot of great plays by Lucios throughout this week of Overwatch Contenders. We're only in week 1. Z-Bag Monster relegated back again to Reinhardt. Not known for his Reinhardt play. We know Kaiser is the better Rein based on what we've seen in trials. But he's still waiting on the bench here. Ruins, going to be mirror matchups once again.
Hardcore here onto the high ground up the right side. Rein's going to be clashing, but Z-Bag's going to be the first one taken down. Takoyaki just swinging his way. The half charge on that shatter. Clean sweep coming through. Now looking for FaZe to pop him out of that mech. They might just be able to do so. Yes, they do. Not a whole lot of charge, but he can just go ahead and jump off the side of the map, and it will cost him some time. No, he will be going for the swap.
Yeah, I mean, I think you just kind of, at this point, you don't have that much ult charge. Just get it back as quickly as you can and set up to try to catch up in ult charge. But I mean, 3% to 73, pretty of a deficit for the D.Va player for StormQuake.
Again, going to be meeting here on that right side. Takoyaki this time, however, will fall. Z-Bag finding a nice pin. Leads to his death, and Sparkle taken down. Now that shield is eliminated. Now pushes forward and manages to find the enemy Rein, but he's taken down shortly thereafter. Bin will be throwing out that self-destruct, looking for a pick, but will come up short. He's eliminated afterwards. So they delay for a little bit longer here, stringing through, building up to 31% rather.
Now, there's an easy way for Element Mystic to win this fight, is to get a big grab after a speed boost, right? Sneak around the right side, force everyone to respond to the Reinhardt, then grab. But look at the way that StormQuake is positioned. They've got their tanks up here in the front. Everyone is staggered behind them, so it's not easy to build that final bit of the grab charge.
Get away, Shatter going to be coming down. Uses multiple members. Zarya able to absorb that one, so Proper stays safe, and now has the grab online. Throws that one down, puts it into the wall, unable to find the heat from Hanbin. Bomb into the back, the barrier is up, and Takoyaki is able to block that one out. Sound barrier through from Unique, helping to keep them topped up. Hanbin falls low, but manages to stay alive. The armor pack is coming out of Doha, really sustaining that mech, and now they push forward onto the point, get the pop out here. As FaZe goes down, the tanks drop it like flies. Now the support's going to be going down as well. A team wipe comes through, and Element Mystic will gain control. 32% to 42.
Sparkle tries to figure out how to jump onto this ledge. I've been there. Oh my god, he's like, oh,
I am awful when it comes to Zarya Pathix.
Well, he's going to have the advantage here. He's going to try to get another grab. Still has 99 energy. Very haphazard approach by FaZe. He's going to get burned down.
Just destroying everybody who pushes into his face. Z-Bag now Proper, both going to get taken out. StormQuake, yeah, needed to reroute here. Instead, swept under the rug.
Honestly, I think a lot of people would point fingers at Z-Bag here. A lot of Kaiser fans saying, well, Takoyaki is outclassing him. And I would agree with the fact that Takoyaki is outclassing him. But I think FaZe has very underperformed. He has overextended him and burned down in the microwave, as we call it, from Sparkle. Now he's got this high ground grab potential. Got to be careful, though.
He's trying to get the pop on the mech first. Now going to get shield bashed up. The armor still helping to keep him alive. Hits that grab straight into the wall. Transcendence is down, however, from Lastro. Trying to keep him alive, but the pin comes in. Takoyaki finds Suzgen, and the self-destruct from Hanbin takes down 2. And just like that, Element Mystic are back on the offensive. Everybody armored up, playing in front of the dropship, now at 90%. StormQuake, can anybody tag this point? We'd expect Amy going to be the one to drive. The Shatter comes down, locking down the 2 members from StormQuake who had pushed forward. FaZe being one of them. Amy's in the back looking for this back cap and might actually be able to find it if no one else can tag in. Does get the flip, buys them a second lease on life, but they need the rest of the team to join in very quickly.
Not here. I mean, they need to boost in. FaZe has to touch this.
Amy now going to be eliminated. Grab coming in from Proper, locks him up. The bomb stumped in from FaZe, comes down, and Unique and Fix Me both going to be eliminated. Now Takoyaki dead. It's just Hanbin and Sparkle trying to maintain control, but they have time on their side.
Now, this was a very clutch play by Amy. He took a risk going back there. Had someone come to match him, then it would not have been successful. This is not the same thing as what we saw from Named yesterday. That was much more of an impressive play, actually. But Amy does the right thing here, hopes for the desperation move. It does work out. StormQuake does have a good proper dropping the grab down. They do properly put that into place, no pun intended, and that saves them the map for now.
Push back forward, Element missing. They want to regain control. The grab taunt comes out from Sparkle, not going to be eaten by Hanbin. Pop out of that back, the bomb comes through, and Hanbin does manage to find Z-Bag Monster. Eaten by FaZe is what I meant to say earlier on. That's going to be the flip, 99%. OT ticking away. Boops coming in as they charge forward, and no one can tag it. Element Mystic on the return. Opes in their favor. They land the grab. They take Achilios.
Maybe they've got counter strategies for the 3-3 composition. Perhaps there's a lot of notes on the chalkboard back in the team house, but so far it's just been standard textbook play. Reinhardt, Zarya, Takoyaki coming up bigger than Z-Bag, and you have to expect that if we're going to see more 3-3 from StormQuake, Kaiser needs to come off the bench and into the player's chair. I was going to say into the booth. We don't have those anymore, but into the metaphysical or metaphorical booth.
The metaphysical booth.
He needs to get in there. We need to see the return of Kaiser. Our Takoyaki is going to continue to control the map. Sparkle is having a great time on the Zarya. Weak Brigitte, to be fair, but when he was able to play the Zarya again, maintain consistent charge, and Element Mystic, great chase tactics, punishing FaZe time and time again for overextending on the D.Va. He was always the target. They broke his mech, used his mech as a battery to build ult charge for Sparkle. Then as soon as he was broken, would drop down those grabs when they were necessary, because oftentimes they were not. Things got cleaned up real fast. Amy with the clutch play to save the map for just a moment, but Element Mystic is definitely playing the better 3-3, at least in terms of Achilios thus far.
Well, we'll see where StormQuake wants to take us between Hollywood and, you know what, we won't even wait for the graphic. You can see Z-Bag wrapping up the mouse and the keyboard. Kaiser waiting patiently behind him. We will get to see the return. And given that, I think we can expect that it's probably going to be Hollywood for StormQuake.
I would imagine so. There's some arguments you can make for Numbani, but not really with Kaiser coming in. Doesn't really make any sense.
Again, his Winston is good, but
yes,
you would rather him be able to play the Reinhardt. So
exactly,
Hollywood seems like it's going to be the most,
and honestly,
most likely.
I would go as far as to say, right now, I think his Winston is probably better than Z-Bag's. However, if you were going to sign Z-Bag and you're going to have differentiating tank roles, where you're going to have some maps where you want to play Kaiser, some maps where you want to play Z-Bag, from day one, you probably want to be playing Z-Bag when you're intending to use Winston, because otherwise, then why did you sign Z-Bag and Kaiser just becomes the catch-all? He never becomes the Reinhardt, and Z-Bag never becomes the Winston if Kaiser does both. Yeah. So even though I think Kaiser might be slightly better than Z-Bag right now, and I mean slightly, I think it is correct to still run him on Achilios there. I actually respect the choice by the coach a lot.
It makes sense. It's the first map of your first match here in the tournament. You know, test the waters, kind of use Z-Bag maybe even to see how good Takoyaki is. I imagine these guys will have a better idea than us. You know, you trying to research and figure out where this guy came from.
Yeah, it's pretty big unknown, this guy.
Yeah, it's a bit of a question mark around him. But looks like maybe we're going to take a look at some signs.
All right, well,
grand opening.
I love you, Element Mystic, is what that sign says. We got a unique fan as well back there. Sign not so unique, but you know, it says unique on it. It's a pretty generic sign though, otherwise.
Oh. Genji.
Yeah.
On the cast.
I'm not actually sure. I haven't memorized everyone's Korean names yet, so I'm not entirely sure who one is. It's the commentator, yeah. What am I saying? It's the one of the analysts. The former StarCraft Rubor commentator that commentated NBC Game a long time ago.
There's a lot of Korean commentators used to cast StarCraft.
Yeah, and StarCraft was the game for a long time. Still is pretty good. Remastered's pretty awesome.
Well, she's a Takoyaki fan.
Yes, he's got the rubber hammer, but I think it was doing a little bit more than You guys have all seen those rubber hammers, the air hammers. I think he was doing a little bit more than what an air hammer would do. He actually dominated that matchup against Z-Bag in terms of ult charge build.
I like that he's just yelling beer.
Yeah. Also just says, it literally just, he is yelling beer, and it says, please play Ryan well for me.
Well, couple more maps to have that really shine through.
Says she came here with me on the right side. And she came all the way from Busan.
Oh.
She flew from Busan here to...
From Busan?
From Busan to watch Element Mystic fan here. So, long distance fan across the country. Alpha fan here with a light up sign.
It's the phone flashlight in the back of it. It's great. Oh, she's got a follow-up one, but she kind of put that away a bit too quickly to see what's going on.
She wants to put the flash back on.
Yeah.
There you go.
Eyes glowing.
Eye of the Kaiser, eye of the Alpha, man. That's the question.
Yeah, I mean, will we get to see that clash happen today? So far, the answer is no.
Yeah, I don't think we'll necessarily see it. Alpha is still, he's been around since the beginning. He was also a sub for Runaway. He took Kaiser's place as the tank sub when Kaiser left. Then eventually came into Element Mystic, but was only fielded very briefly, a few times on Rialto mostly. Kaiser's in.
We already talked about it. We gave you the spoilers.
Well, I mean, it was on screen.
You can see it.
So this is
you
the
know
moment.
It's real.
This is what everyone has been waiting for almost a year, I guess. Maybe even like a little bit longer than a year. The Korean fans, the Apex fans, the Contenders fans wondering, will he return? And how good is he? I mean, most of the players that we had that won titles early in Overwatch or got to finals early in Apex, and then some of the early MLGs, like most of those players are gone. I would not say a majority of them ended up in Overwatch League realistically. You can remember the old legends, and they are scattered amongst Overwatch League teams, but some of those players just didn't keep up or pursued other opportunities. Kaiser has been grinding hard, has been looking for a top team for a long time, had some time on Contenders, NA, very briefly, and didn't play that much. And obviously sat on the bench for Runaway for a long time, hoping for that opportunity. And now he took a risk with this Trials team. They basically won Trials. They're coming in here as the top seed from that. And now it's time for him to prove himself on a big stage. The same stage he started his career in this very room, on this very stage, before Apex, before Runaway. And, it's time to start a new one right
the next
now.
Chapter.
Yeah.
But will it be a horror story or, fantasy?
It's a very stressful time. There's a lot of pressure on legendary older players returning in no matter what esport you're talking about. If you're talking about traditional sports, someone takes a break, they come back. There's always that pressure. And after their team goes down 0-1, Z-Bag underperforms, phase overextends. The eye of the Kaiser is what we are looking to see.
And hopefully he can deliver on some of those moments. Element Mystic will be doing their damnedest to try to shut that down, make sure that shield is up for Takoyaki, deny it away. Should be ready to figure out what map we are going to be taken to here for the second. We're expecting Hollywood, and it will be.
Yep, this is a very obvious pick if you're looking towards the Kaiser focus here, the substitution. The strength of Reinhardt on A is, can't be overstated, let's just say. But this is where we're going to really find out, I think, does Element Mystic have the counterplay prepared? Are they really just going to try to match it on defense after everything that has been spoken about over the last few, 4 or 5 days after the Meta Athena coach came out saying they have the answers? They're scary against GOATs. We don't like to run GOATs against them. And that's the big question here.
Did we just get more Pharah Sombra? Because, the Pharah especially was doing extremely well early on.
Well, you may have just predicted the future. We get the Pharah. Sombra was shown briefly, but it will settle back down to Brigitte here. So it is going to be Sparkles Pharah. Expecting to see Reinhardt Zarya coming out from StormQuake. No ranged damage. Kaiser locks in the Winston, though. Winston is strong on this particular map, but if he does not succeed in getting a lot of ult charge in the first 2 pushes, even really the first push, then it's going to be a big problem. They may simply counter and put Silgan back on a hit scan hero again once they see this Pharah. Let's see if they commit to the push. They're going to go all the way in, speed boost.
He's probably going to at least give it one push. Yeah, just charging straight up in front of the cafe. A lot of damage going through on a phase, but not going to be able to break that mech out yet. Sparkle still just going to be layering in these rockets. Takes a bit of damage, has that pocket, however, keeping him safe. Hulk going to be grabbing everybody together on the side of StormQuake. He gets poked out, but no one going down yet. Not even the mech's broken here for these divas, but now a tick going to be surrendered. StormQuake picking that up. Kaiser's still going to be zapping away, trying to build up for that primal range.
Nice angle here,
Rocket's
though.
coming into the back, so Jet going low. Barrage comes through Kaiser, the first one to fall, but FaZe from behind is able to get rid of that Pharah. StormQuake still playing up, still trying to make this one work. The grab is going to be online. They get the pop out there. Graviton into the cafe, locks up the remaining members of Element Mystic, and StormQuake just go ahead, pick up that team wipe. And now we'll be looking for point A, and seems like, yeah, they're going to be able to get it. Sparkle did a lot of damage with it there with that Pharah. Mirage not the best placed, and now we'll be swapping over onto the Zarya.
Yeah, you know, there was a window there, but he got overzealous for it. Sometimes it looks like you have to go for the barrage in that moment, but quick response there coming out from FaZe, who had a weak Achilios, but does come up big here on Hollywood. Kaiser with 67% here. He's got a lot of ult charge built already.
Charge forward here onto the point. Transcendent's going to be coming down from Fix Me, keeping everybody alive. Answering from Lastro will extend his a little bit further beyond that of Element Mystics, and now going to be looking to open things up for the fight. Find these pickoffs. Destruct out from Hanbin, not going to find anything. Simply makes it back into the mech. Whereas Kaiser pops that primal range. He's got a lot of members of Element Mystic gated away from the point, allowing the cart to continue moving forward. Jumps into the back yet again, but gets bashed up by Noah and taken down. Now Sparkle answering with a Graviton Surge of his own. 100 energy from the Sound Barrier. Buys a little bit more time here for StormQuake, and FaZe dumps out that self-destruct to keep himself alive. Makes it back into the mech, and now Sparkle is on the run, but gets stunned up from behind. Proper scoops up the kill. Takoyaki managed to find Lastro, but I don't know how much it's going to do in the way of stopping this cart from advancing.
Amy and Solgan with really nicely timed support ultimates. Amy gets the barrier up. Solgan is able to rally right afterwards, so the rally armor does go through. Proper still holds it here, and there's just no way out with the grab here for Proper. On the side of Element Mystic, they just can't really avoid it. This is the choke. It's so important to have a grab at this precise moment. Hanbin's looking to try to deny, but now he's away.
Pushes back forward here into the face of the Zarya, hits it straight at his feet, locking them up as they try to come out from the studio. Fire Strike building up this shatter for Kaiser, who had swapped over onto the Reinhardt, matched by Takoyaki, but going to be significantly further behind as far as the ults are concerned. Kaiser with a pin, managed to find Doa. Takoyaki taken down, and now it's 5 minutes on the clock for StormQuake. A fantastic push here so far on Hollywood.
Yeah, super well done. The good control of that choke by Proper. Looked like Hanbin went for the fake. He flew up onto the high ground and hoped that Proper would maybe try to drop it at that moment, and then he'd come and grab it just in that interim, but he was a little bit too slow. Everyone got caught in the choke. They're going for the high ground now. Sparkle's going to have a grab.
Drops down, pins it straight into the box. Transcendent's out from Lastro, trying to keep them alive, but now they have to worry about that bomb, but it seems like it's going to be blocked out. No one's going to be falling. Kaiser comes out to that shatter, doesn't come up with much. Now Takoyaki with one of his own catches multiple members with the sound barriers in from Amy, keeps everybody alive. Now they're focused firing in on the Takoyaki, responding sound barrier in from Unique. The fight goes on, nobody goes down. Cart going to be stuck still. Element Mystic continue to play this corner. Another Transcendence up for Fix Me, holding this one, maintaining control. Proper building up, grab online, but it's going to be one out from Sparkle first. His dying wish throws that one down, and that will lead to the team fight win for Element Mystic.
I think StormQuake is not going to feel too bad about this, though. They had a great control of the cart for so long. They've passed B and have entered the final stretch with 4 minutes left. And Proper's built yet another grab. Hanbin's going to again have to be very careful about how he moves forward, or they're going to find that hole. Shatter goes up first, though, for Takoyaki.
Throws that one down, but he cannot get the pin, but Lastro still will get picked off. Now Sugen also going to be taken out. Push forward from Element Mystic, come up with the kills, and FaZe will get knocked out of the mech.
Okay, luckily for StormQuake, Sparkle didn't do the majority of that damage in the last part of the fight. If he had another grab, look, he has no energy even. If he had another grab here, this would be really scary for StormQuake, because then they'd struggle to get through this choke point. But it's not the case.
Bomb in the back. Charging forward, Kaiser's got the shield up as the Sunjen keeps himself alive. Rally is out, armoring them up. Kaiser holding on to the shatter, slams it down. It's multiple members, the kills now starting to come through as Doa and Takoyaki, now Unique, all going to be falling. This is going to be the pushback over onto the cart. They regain control and can start advancing again as soon as they clean up Hanbin.
I could have really liked what Element Mystic was doing if they had a grab before they left this hangar, this area, I don't know if there's a technical call.
It's called the studio.
The studio, yeah. If they had not left the studio, then I think they would have had a much better defensive opportunity. They way overextended. They got greedy. Now they're getting punished. And Proper is getting the kills here. He's going to have another grab himself.
Yeah, Sparkle throws his down. Sound barrier out. Some topped up, only losing out on the Sugen so far. Sparkle pushing up, cannot save Hanbin's.
They're just zoned out.
Yeah, that's just going to be it. They push it through. StormQuake, fantastic time bank. A celebratory Graviton Surge out from Proper. Kaiser, you know, one good chatter is really what comes to mind, but just having the shields up, denying away those self-destructs, fantastically done from him. Some good pins as well, but overall, just seems like there's more comfort here for StormQuake with Kaiser on the roster.
Oh, for sure. Z-Bag's a late entry. They haven't had that much time to work with him. I think he was signed like 3 or 4 days ago, so not a ton of time to prep. But the big mistake for Elo Mystic was stepping out of the studio when Sparkle was around 35–40% of a grab. Had that fight gone swimmingly, I mean, if they had really crushed it, sure, he gets a grab, but then you're fighting in the open where you don't even really get much value out of a grab. If you stay inside, take a defensive fight and get the grab that way, I think that we see a totally different game. And worst case for Elo Mystic, the time bank is at least smaller here, but they took the risk, they played greedy, and they've been playing so aggressively around Sparkle all series long, starting on Achilios. Then it worked when they were ahead, it worked when they had ult advantage, but when they didn't, it cost them big. And that's how all those things kind of bleed together there at the end, where Kaiser gets the good shatter, they have ult advantage, Sparkle drops a grab, but Amy catches with the barrier perfectly his teammates and saves them. Kaiser going to go for the defensive Winston here on the A defense.
Quite far up here, so this could be a bit risky, but StormQuake confident.
It's super amazing if you can grab the Zenyatta. Because remember, Zenyatta on Hollywood A, getting that transit stop, now you can get a fast cap. If you can kill the Zenyatta, make sure yours has that ult advantage. It's super impactful. FaZe scouts it out, then backs up. They're actually just not going to... Against this comp, it's just too risky. They back away.
Well, 2-2-2, the time bank for StormQuake. Make a wish, Wolf. Wish for 2-2-2 to the comps to come back in. But here we go, charge forward onto the point. With Mystic, just working their way through. Hanbin goes low, Sparkle as well getting tagged up, but now they're in the cafe. Shield bash not going to connect on the Proper. Still taking a walloping here from that hammer. Will get run down by Hanbin at the same time as Takoyaki falls. Now Hanbin popped out of the mech. Element Mystic seeming like they might just have to abandon this first push. They actually are working up their way up to that first tick, do gain it. Now Kaiser going to be rejoining, jumps in, doesn't have any reinforcements, however. Dawn will take him down as that rally gets popped, getting that armor over on a Sparkle so he can stay in the fight. Tick getting ready to come through, FaZe going to get knocked out of that mech. And suddenly StormQuake on the back foot as they lose out on A.
And now they're bleeding ult charge over to Sparkle. It was a risk they took. They decided, let's go back in as 6 instead of trying to take a 5v4 fight that we could potentially lose. So in a way, they played safer, but that was the trade-off decision. It didn't work. They lost that fight. Kaiser, when he returned, died instantly. And now, during that chase, not only do they get a great time bank, Elo Mystic, they get a grab off it. Proper 30% behind. And StormQuake, sure, they control the high ground here, but this is a free push. This is looking really good for Element Mystic to kind of turn this map around after what was a great start for StormQuake. Obviously, grab, tougher to execute in this area. You need a choke.
Drop down here onto the card. Finn just kiting his way back. Really relying on those shields out from Takoyaki, trying to keep himself alive. Then it's going to be coming through. Bomb thrown in the back base. Gets the pick off onto Unique. As Kaiser just smacking people around, displacing them with the Primal Rage. Now the push forward comes through again. FaZe coming up with another kill, getting rid of these supports. They're going to fall. Takoyaki retreating with the charge. Will be able to keep his life, but StormQuake keeps the cart.
StormQuake did not fall into Elo Mystic's trap. They did not chase back to the choke point where the grab would have been more impactful. Sparkle used it very far forward, didn't catch very many members. The answer was there from Lastro. Grab now for Proper.
Up on the high ground, Hanbin spotting this out. It's a ton of damage there onto the mech. Takoyaki, however, with a pin. Sugen and now FaZe is going to be knocked out of the mech and taken down. So this is going to open up a lot of space here for StormQuake. For Element Mystic, while StormQuake waits for their tanks to respawn.
I feel like StormQuake is playing so safe, but it's costing them big, actually, because they're not making the big plays when they have opportunities to. Like, that was a great moment for Proper to potentially grab there and then control that fight. He also knew exactly what Hanbin's D-Matrix charge was at, as he watched him pull it out earlier. But they just kind of backed away, and then on the retreat, not everyone gets out. So Element Mystic gets free ult charge again. They've popped their rally. We're going to have a pause. Well, they pop their rally. Look at the armor. You can see to the top left of your screen. They have that advantage. And that lead that they had with the grab that Proper had, he still holds it, and it doesn't. That small advantage needed to be used exactly precisely then, and because it was not, now Element Mystic is kind of caught up in ults. Don't know what the technical issue is yet.
Yeah, not sure. Seems like it might be. You know, it's definitely on the side of StormQuake. Maybe with Lastro, he's the one sat back away from his PC.
Yeah, looks that way.
The smile's around, so maybe it's not that much of an issue. We'll find out. See how long it takes to get this taken care of.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's something like a peripheral problem that can be fixed very quickly. This is our first real big pause, actually. Looks like a monitor
problem.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we've had a pretty smooth run of things this week until this moment, so.
Yeah, overall, no real issues, but we'll just have to swap this out real quick, it would seem, so we can jump back into the game. Element Mystic on the push just in front of point B.
I feel, going back to the game itself and StormQuake, they were going to switch, obviously, Kaiser back to Reinhardt. They backed away. Feels like they're, there's always that moment when you're in your solo queue game and somebody's like, group up, don't go in alone. And it's like, go back.
And then they just don't.
But then but if you always, but this is like the ultimate form of too much, like, no, don't go for it. Hold on, hold your grab. Let's wait for the perfect fight. It's almost too conservative. It's almost too safe. And then when you have that disjointed pullback and then Element Mystic kills one member, then Sparkle gets speed boosted in what was a 20% on his grab that he couldn't win a fight with. He didn't even have. He chases. He microwaves members. He's going to grab for the next fight. You had grab versus 20% of his grab. Like, you had an 80% advantage, but you didn't capitalize it. You didn't go for it. And then members died, and suddenly it's like, well, now we both have grabs.
Yeah.
And the cart's moved forward. I think sometimes you got to take the fight. You got to take the risk. You got to be ready to make that snap decision, and they just simply aren't on attack.
You got to play like new Runaway.
Yeah.
Always go on the offensive. But yeah, I mean, some restraint being shown, and maybe that is costing them a little bit. But StormQuake's certainly not out of it. There's going to be a contest before point B, so they can certainly halt the cart there. Maybe maintain control at that point. We'll have to see how things transpire once we get that monitor issue taken care of. But they're definitely in it. They have a 2:22 time bank. That's right. Fix your badge.
Yeah, it's just it's unruly always.
It's
Season 3.
Orders.
Nothing's changed, man.
Yeah, well, no, that doesn't make sense.
I think a stronger magnet or something, man. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with it.
I was going to say you need a higher badge so that the level of the... Yeah, it does. I was making a Pokemon joke. It's really bad.
No, okay.
I don't know, man.
Like, I don't have enough badges to control my I don't know.
Exactly, but not having enough badges to control your badge just sounds bad. But we'll go ahead and take a look at some of the highlights, some of the things that have happened so far. That was a really big head-scratcher moment from Takoyaki.
Yeah.
I guess maybe he thought if I get the kill onto the Diva, it's worth me dying, but then it didn't happen that way at all.
Yeah.
It was interesting. They still won on Achilios, but they did lose that round.
I hope you see another moment where it happens. Okay, moments like this where you see the chase. Okay, well, that wasn't exactly the moment I thought it was going to be. I want to show, they're probably not going to show it because it's less interesting to watch. Okay, moments like this where you actually go for it, you chase. Like, sure, Amy gets the back cap and all, but this is why Sparkle's been able to control the ult charge versus Proper. Although I'd argue Proper's had better grabs overall, because they're just so good at messing with StormQuake's hesitation. Every time StormQuake hesitates, Element Mystic does not. They speed boost, they chase, and Sparkle is just burning people down, building ult. And even if they don't take a fight and they back off after that, then he got ult charge. Yeah. So it's worth it. It's effective.
Unfortunately, those were the only highlights that we had because we've only played one map.
Yeah.
So Lastro is getting everything else plugged in on his monitor right now, getting that booted up, and then we should be able to jump back into game momentarily. But for now, let's just take a look at some more fan signs.
Some Element Mystic fans here. It says pick one, and the top one says winning, and the bottom one, I'm not entirely sure what that means. Becoming something, but I don't know what I actually don't know that word. I should
Didn't
know.
quite hear. Oh yeah, game is ready. Okay, so instruction letting us know, giving us that brief little warning there. All set. Sparkle going to be charging forward. Drop that
Risky
grab
grab.
straight in front of him. Yeah, extremely risky. And the bomb from Hotbin finds 3 of them. Kaiser Proper and Amy all say goodbye. He's knocked out of that mech. And well, I said that StormQuake had an opportunity to contest. They didn't really act on it. Instead, Element Mystic just locked their fist down. They punched
And they're
going to
chase again. They're going to build more ult charge again. Sparkle 53. They speed boost. They're not on the point. They're looking for ults. They commit. They are decisive. They take decisive fights. They commit to those fights. They get kills in ult charge. Then they move back to the cart afterwards. And that's exactly what they're doing here. Building ult charge.
I mean, this is something that people should be doing when you play at home. When you get that cap, if you have a slightly extended fight, look for the split spawn members of the enemy team. You'll get more ult charge. You get them, then it's more staggers. Groundhog comes down, another risky one right in front of Hanbin, but he does not get that devour on him. Shatter out from Kaiser, sound barrier in response. And Kaiser taken down by a fire strike from Takoyaki. Turn around here for Element Mystic. Sparkle, another grab online, pushing forward. Zarya versus Zarya. He doesn't need to invest that ult yet. It's just coming up with kills left, right, and center here with these high-energy right clicks.
FaZe sticking around too long is going to get reset as well. And it's just every time. In that last fight, Proper got a great grab. And when you look at that free cam, everyone's not on the same page. No one's actually collapsing. Everyone's already backing off. Whereas Element Mystic has no fear. Watch this again. We're going to see the Sparkle comes up straight into the wall.
It in, right in front of the
Where's
team.
Kaiser?
So very risky. The bomb coming down. Managed to get the pick off there on Amy. He was able to use a sound barrier to try to keep everybody else alive. But now Kujen going to be going down. Lastro and Kaiser both under fire. Both going to be dead. Charge out from Takoyaki, looks for the pick, the zone on back, and Element Mystic will get the completion here on Hollywood with a more favorable time bank.
Element Mystic, it is their success and, to a certain extent, their failure, their lack of fear, their lack of caution. They've tossed into the wind. They're so aggressive. They're chasing. They're looking for ult charge. Even if it means they lose the fight, they're just maintaining better ult charge. They're being more efficient with their ults, not afraid to use them, then rebuild them. That cost them big on the defense, right? Remember when they left the studio chasing, doing that exact same thing, and then eventually StormQuake turned the fight and was able to get completion there? But I mean, it's a terrifying thing to look at. I mean, it is absolutely... You look at it and you go, well, I don't know about this grabber. I'm not sure how this fight would really work out from this position. But Element Mystic just says, go, and they go. I mean, it is something that I think plays well against StormQuake's more conservative playstyle, where they're looking for the best fight possible, which is not wrong per se, but it is costing them big against the every fight possible. And whenever you hesitate, I'm going to get ults again. So it's like every fight possible, but I still am using more ults than you. It's a little bit absurd.
Well, on the defense again, here is going to be Element Mystic. Kaiser, he's done messing around. He's starting with the Reinhardt. No more Winston at the beginning, it would seem. But again, far forward. Defensive play from Element Mystic. Hiding out right.
They're going to commit.
Little staircase. Do they have any idea? Kaiser trying to scout for it. Going to get bashed up. Zarya bubble coming through, and it's actually going to be Doa taken down. Kaiser still under fire. The headshots come through as Hanbin pushes in around that shield. Manages to take him out. Now he's going to get popped out of his mech way back over towards the enemy spawn. And that is going to open things up for Proper with all of this energy to charge forward, pick up a couple kills, and lock down point A.
It's the trend continues. Element Mystic attack, 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 non-stop. There's to their success or their failure. Remember, this is two different styles of play. StormQuake had the same defensive setup. They scouted the team and they decided, let's not take the risk. Let's back off. Let's play safe. They went and defended that point. Element Mystic says,
go!
I mean, hell yeah, let's go. It doesn't matter. Let's fight, you know? The exact opposite. I mean, these are two clashing ideals here in terms of team structure.
Zarya here, Proper nearly with that graviton surge, manages to find Toa. Back and forth. Proper and Kaiser both will be eliminated. Element Mystic though loses out on Takoyaki, they lose out on Toa, so those shields aren't available to play forward. Faster run back as well for StormQuake, but they need to get this cart moving.
Yep.
A minute remaining.
Rally's going to be ready here if they want to pre-do it, they will. Sparkle's grab, you know, is going to be their next approach on the defense.
Bomb into the back, shields up.
I don't know about that one.
Goes ahead, gets that one. Shatter coming down, but Kaiser has a shield up. completely nullifying it. Graviton Surge out, however, from Sparkle, locking them down. They have that bigger bang. The shield bash is there, and Hanbin comes up with 3. 38 seconds remaining. StormQuake certainly have an opportunity to get back over onto the cart. Look at Element Mystic. This is that aggression. They're ready to go. They're playing forward back over onto A.
Yep. And Sparkle just is able to skirt around the positioning of FaZe so well. He's hit almost every grab this game.
Well, he's in proper, going low, throws out that Graviton Surge, but I think it might have been eaten. Nothing to be seen there, so Hanbin denying that one away, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Amy kept track of him. Heart not inching forward yet.
Feels like a full hold. I mean, they got A, but they're not getting anything else here. They will not return to the cart.
Yeah, there
Amy is blocked out.
Spotted out in the cafe. A final shatter from Takoyaki.
What an aggressive team. Element Mystic is just all about committing to these fights, speed boosting in, trading up. And I think that against a weak diva like FaZe has proven to be tonight, it's so tough to counterplay that because the grabs are always hitting. They are always getting massive value. FaZe is always in the front line, getting burned down, has to use his thrusters to escape, and when he does, there's no block for the grab that Sparkle is tossing out. Takoyaki is coming up big with fire strikes, building fast earth shatters. Kaiser has blocked the majority of them, and I have to give him credit to that, but Element Mystic is just simply going to commit to fights and execute those well. They were so known to be a clean unit, no matter what weird strategy they were running in Season 2, even in Season 1. All the Torbjorn stuff we saw where they looked to be the favorites to win the season. But even with this new roster, the coordination remains to be strong. They are all on the same page. And every time Unique presses amp it up for the speed boost, no one has any inkling of hesitation. I know it's a weird thing to even talk about this in Overwatch. Usually you talk about aim, you talk about decision making, you talk about strategy. This is just when the shot call goes and we're going, everyone does the right thing. It's a beautiful thing to watch.
Death ball at its finest. Here we go. Push forward from Element Mystic. 3:03, their starting time bank. Have to get the cap on A, but then it's a very short push afterward. Trying to take it, charge straight up the center, going to be looking for Kaiser. He's still playing forward, gets that Zarya bubble in, and Doha's the first one taken down. Kaiser coming up with that kill, now Takoyaki going to be gone. Element Mystic need to just go ahead and peel back. But it's going to be a charge forward from StormQuake, picking up these stagger kills. A couple shots there, the right click in from Lastro. Manages to find Fix Me, and Hanbin gets knocked out of that match.
Let's see what StormQuake does this time. Do they go back and play super far back, or they try to maximize their advantage? They are staying forward right now. Lastro's trying to grab a few more right-click hits here to get the quick transcendence. He knows he has the ult advantage over Fix Me, wants to further have that. But they do, at the end of the day, fully commit back up to the high ground, giving Element Mystic an opportunity to re-enter the point.
Back down, fire strike denied away. Swing starting to come through from Takoyaki, trying to get some charge here. Kaiser's got the shatter online, bashed up, goes low. Desperately holding the shield, trying to sustain, and he will be able to because Lastro comes through with that transcendence. Now the push forward proper comes up with a triple kill. Hanbin again popped out of the mech and staggered. Element Mystic being held at bay for now.
Nice play by Solgan. Without him, that would not have happened. He would not have survived. He built the rally. Now they keep the armor, and he got that boosted, that boost healing from the armor pack as well. Now they have an ult advantage and control of this choke. StormQuake is on par. They are absolutely looking like this could be a full hold if they can win this fight handily with the ult advantage they have.
Probably trying to be sneaky, but doesn't get spotted out in security. Is it going to be another push on the center? Yes, it is. Pinned to the corner of the ground, surge, but it's not going to find anything. They cut way too far away, but still, Noah going down. The shatter from Kaiser, looking good. Swinging away. Transcendence burned by Fix Me on the exit. They're still going to get picked off here for these staggers. A minute remaining on the clock. StormQuake looking fantastic on this point A defense.
And this is the kind of chase, this is the kind of commitment. Yeah, this is the kind of commitment that we're missing earlier on the attack. They're having it now on the defense. Element Mystic realistically has one more opportunity here, and it's going to be delayed further.
The melee hit on the Kaiser is just amazing.
So now with the respawn coming through, StormQuake has this opportunity to look for the counterplay with FaZe on the Diva. Alternatively, they can look to just try to take a fight before the choke point to prevent anyone tagging the point, but I think there's just a little bit too much time in the bank for that.
Yeah.
Sparkle, all eyes should be on him right now. He's going to have to make the big play.
Here we go. Graviton Surge ready to go. Sparkle chunk down to half. Bubbles coming through.
No
Someone's
mech!
going to be tossed into the
No
back
mech!
end. No mech slams it down. Sparkle finds two. Solution now aiming. Kaiser pinned. And this is going to be the opening for Element Mystic. FaZe getting way too antsy. Dumps the bomb. Opens up his team. And they will go ahead and clap them out of existence.
He may have just cost them the entire game with what was most likely a fat finger, because no analyst would ever tell you that that was the right move. He gave them a free grab.
It could not have been. He shifted, then queued. Takoyaki, however, will still get punished. They have to stick to the cart. StormQuake still going back. They're advancing. They nearly have a grab. They have a sound barrier online. Unbin, can he deny this one away again? Can he find it? Grab coming
Counter grab
down.
from
Will
Popper.
get locked down. Unique gonna fall. Lastro finding the kill. Transcendence in from Bixby, keeping everybody else alive. Sound
Big
barriers in
shatter.
the back of the shatter out from Takoyaki, but no one's gonna be dying on the side of StormQuake yet. So Jen and Kaiser both taking a beating, trying to stay alive. Takoyaki gonna be dead. Bomb in the back, not gonna find anything. Hunman makes it into the mech, but he's immediately gonna get pinned and broken out. FaZe with his own bomb. This time it works a wonder. Sparkle and Unique gonna be taken down, and StormQuake will be able to defend on A.
What a close call, though, there in that last moment. And you did point out the thrusters, so I guess it was intentional, but that is such a risk. You can see Solgen here is not even feeling the relief just yet as they tie the series. Very, very close call, though. And they do get it all together there in the end. The follow-up attack from Element Mystic fails, even though a massive shatter comes out from Takoyaki with the flanking Lucio there to set that up so Kaiser couldn't block. The counter sound barrier, as you pointed out, immediately is what saves the day. And FaZe ends up with the double at the end. Redemption is his. But, wow, what a scary, scary moment. I think the big takeaway is what they failed to do well was be aggressive and be committed. It was almost like they hadn't warmed up yet on the first rounds, but everything turned on a dime there in extra rounds where they were just absolutely aggressive, never hesitating, chasing back to the spawn, doing everything Element Mystic was doing. Perhaps not as aggressively, with a little bit more of a conservative spin on it, but still, no more too safe coming out from this squad. And you're not going to feel great about this win, but at least you got one on the scoreboard now.
Means that we have tied up this series 1-1. Not going to be seeing Element Mystic advancing to that match point. So all locked up right now. Achilios away of Element Mystic. Now Hollywood here. So Element Mystic will have their map pick. And I think that after Achilios, you just kind of want to stray towards maps that are going to dissuade Reinhardt play. Whether or not Kaiser will still get in. But I think that if you can kind of force StormQuake's hand or maybe make it incentivize them to put Z-Bag back in, then you can find success that way. Play around their roster rather than the maps themselves.
Or just try to think about how you can, by the way, brought to you by the official PC and display of Overwatch Contenders.
I'm waiting for my Element HP
Me too,
PC.
please send me one. But I think you could also focus on maps where you can kind of play around Element Mystic's chase-based or style, kind of bigger maps where it's tougher to follow StormQuake, where you could control the high ground as a defender, for example, because otherwise, you know, it's just chase, chase, chase for Element Mystic. Maybe try to figure out a way to counter that.
Well, we're going to go to a quick break, guys. We're halfway through this series. We'll figure out what the map pick is going to be when we come back, so we'll see you in just a few minutes.